Alright, hear me out. This is So Says Mr.THUNDER. I'm Mr. Thunder. And today is Sunday, September the 10th. Today I just want to talk about, man, I guess being thankful. This your first time coming to the podcast? Thank you for coming. However you heard about it, you here now. And I can't do nothing but tell you I appreciate that. For those of you who are returning and have been following me on this journey, again, I cannot thank you enough. I have to start off by saying thank you to the last two guests that we had, Lamont and Donnell. They both gave a powerful testimony and shared that the wisdom that they gained behind the knowledge. And it was all sparked upon by the episode I did called Power of the P. Now, if you listen to that episode, we talk about being able to live 3 different lives. The one you focus on the most is the personal, the P. And that's where you learn how to make decisions. But what I didn't talk about was perception and personality, which is all tied into your personal. If you've been following college football, man, you see that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is doing an amazing thing in Colorado. Just not Colorado, but football itself. This man started all the way. He's been nothing but football his whole life. You know his story, but his coaching journey started with Pee Wee leagues, on up to AAU, on up to high school, on up to not junior college, I'm sorry, HBCU. Like, just he jumping and jumping. Every jump he make, he's so successful at it. And people hate on this man because of his personality and his perception. Now, why would you hate on a man for these 2 things? Why? Because that's who God made him. You can't change that. So what he did is he decided to use faith as his mechanism of coping and dealing with situations. Faith in the Bible, right? I mean, for those of you who know the scripture, Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen, meaning you believe that you will have what you cannot see. Affirmation. Why do I say this? I say this because this isn't new to me, what I'm doing right now. I've been doing this my whole life. I've had my mother tell you, often given a bad perception, but the gift of gab, right? My voice and my delivery and my messages usually are difference makers in my world, all for good, right? Somehow I don't follow through because I lack the faith. So I see what I want, but at some point I say, nah, that's not gonna happen, and I just stop. I don't find out. So, usually when you want to decide whether you've made a good decision or something, or you want to find out the results of something you've been doing and working on, and you gotta test yourself. And I think the test is what a lot of people don't want to go through. They don't want to get the results. They don't want to be told that it's not possible the same way they don't want to be told that it is possible. But nobody's willing to take that chance and step out on faith. So, me, personally, I've been told by 3 high-ranking officials in ministry, a bishop, a senior pastor, and an apostle, all told me to my face after one conversation, they know me from Adam, said, Ramsey, man, you need to be in front of a bunch of people. Thousands of people. Because you got a word. God got something on you that he can use you. So what did I think that looked like? I thought that meant people needed to see me. The one thing I realized that my roadblocks are always my perception and my personality. Because I'm a firm believer that sometimes shit's just unbelievable and too good to be true. So that's how I believe everybody should feel about themselves. The confidence, right? I was raised with confidence, but then I was also raised with a seed of doubt. To where because something may be too good to be true, it must not be. All for the wrong reasons. So I had to test myself. I went, spoke in front of people, presented, I always got met with an initial positive result, but then as people started to look at me and pay attention to my personality, they immediately got turned off. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't really care. Then I decided to get into the ministry where I preach a little bit. So I'm doing my thing. I'm letting God use me the way that I feel like he intended it to be. And then I got met with the same energy, all because of the perception and personality. So I stopped. I didn't test myself. It was too good to be true that something that easy for me was going to be what made me a better man. But I just stopped because of what other people in the ministry thought. And I was like, that's not for me. So then I decided, after talking and using all these principles on myself, building the leadership program through work and all this stuff, now I got time to work on myself. So then I had to test myself because I'm like, this is new to me, so I need to figure it out. So that's when I started this podcast, because I knew that my perception and personality was the thing that was holding me back. So what do I use? I use my gift. I tested myself. Just like Coach Prime tested his players. He said, do you believe? I believe. He instilled that in them. And I'm so grateful for him putting that out there. Because it did something for me. I tested myself and I did this podcast, and it's yielding the results that I thought, that I knew that my faith was going to bring to me. Do I know what it looks like in the future? No. But what I do know is, guess who's going to have the courage and faith to believe that I'm going to reach out to Coach Prime and his son at Well Off Media and just see if I can make a connection with them, because I got the faith. Has there been a time in your life where you say, you know what? I'm going to step out on faith. I'm going to test myself, and I'm going to know that what I'm supposed to be doing, that's my purpose. Faith. Are you positive? Man, that right there, I also had to leave with this one right here. And the reason why I say that is because I got somebody that reached out to me that has been listening to the podcast, that shared with me that they used the podcast to make a connection with their child. And that moved me so much that I had to apply that same thing to myself with my children. Because the only thing I know how to do is be a father. But what I also know how to do is I know I got to learn how to have faith that whenever something comes up, I'm going to be able to fulfill my purpose and test positive. That is where I want to leave y'all. This one was personal. Hey, it was personal. I hate to sound like I'm biting off of Coach Prime, but I'm not. I just have faith, and I believe that what I'm doing is what I've been called to do. And whatever comes behind that, so be it. I'm ready for the test. Have you tested positive for faith? This is So Says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder. I'm a Native American of this country. Ain't a damn thing you could do about it. So go ahead and like the Instagram page, So Says Mr. Thunder. I can be found on pretty much all podcast platforms. This is Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Definitely, you can find me on Instagram, links to that. Also to the guests that I've had on there. So if you got some feedback, definitely reach out to me, because I want to hear 10 minutes of your best. I holla.